Hello artists! Today I will show you how to create a paper loom and how to create a paper weaving. The only supplies you need is a piece of paper, a scissor, and some paper strips. Okay, for now I just want you to watch me. In a moment I'll do this all again, just watch me for now. I am starting by holding my paper horizontally and folding it, matching up corner to corner like I am folding a card or a book. So I hold with one hand and I crease with the other hand, and that crease is going to be important when we are cutting. Now it is very important that you turn your paper so that the open side of your paper is facing away from you. Now we are going to fold the stop line. So I'm going to take just a little bit of the two papers that are up at the top, and I'm going to fold them down a tiny bit. The stop line is a guide that helps us know when to stop cutting. We can't stop before the stop line, and we certainly can't keep cutting after the stop line. The very first step is to find about the center of your loom and cut it in half. Stop at the stop line that we folded. When you're done, it kind of looks like a pair of pants. Now, we're not quite finished yet. We have to keep on cutting. So, I'm going to cut each one of these halves in half again. Cut all the way up to the stop line. Remember not to stop before, and definitely don't keep going after the stop line. So I shouldn't just stop here, right? I have to keep on going and going and stop. This is a good place to stop. I'm at the stop line. So when we're ready, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4 strips of paper to work with. Now, again, this isn't quite enough, so I'm going to cut each one of these pieces in half one more time. So, artists, let's do a little math here. If I started with 4 pieces of cut paper, and now I'm going to cut each one of these in half again, how many pieces should I get at the end? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if you have 8 strips of paper on your loom, that means that you did it correctly. Okay, here we go. Follow along with me this time. Hold your paper horizontally on your table and fold it in half, kind of like a card or a book. Make sure it's lined up corner to corner, and hold with one hand and crease with the other. And if I'm going too fast, just let me know and we'll pause the video and then you can catch up. Then turn your paper so that the open side is facing away from you, and we will fold our stop line now. So just fold a tiny little bit down to create our stop line. Again, that's a guide that helps us know when to stop cutting, and we can't stop before or after our stop line. The next step is to start cutting our loom. So find about the middle of your paper, and we're going to cut all the way up to the stop line. We cannot stop before, and we can't keep going after the stop line. So now you have your paper cut into halves, and we're going to cut it into fourths next. So each one of the big sections, I'm now going to cut in half one more time. When we're done, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of paper to deal with, but that's not quite enough. We want to cut our paper into eighths now. So each of these big pieces, again, I'm going to cut in half just like I did before. Make sure we go all the way up to the stop line. And just remember, if you make an oopsie, that is okay. Mistakes are how we learn, and you have backup pieces of paper just in case we make a big mistake. So when we're done, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strips of paper, and we are good to go. Open up your loom, and voila, we are ready to start weaving. Okay, artists, we did it. We have our loom, and now we're ready to weave. When we weave in an A-B pattern. So let me show you what I mean. We always weave over, under, over, under. So this first piece of paper, I'm going to go over that one on the bottom and under the next one. Over, under. And you might have to use all your fingers to make this happen. Over, under. And then I like to push it as far to the side as I can. Now my next one, this is very important, my next one has to be the opposite of the strip that I just included. So this one I'm going to start under, over, under, over. And now you'll notice that my blue strip is the opposite of my yellow strip of paper. Again, I like to push it all the way to the side. A common mistake that I see students doing is accidentally doing the same pattern with 2 paper strips in a row. So let me show you what I mean by that. When you do the same thing in a row, see how my yellow is right on top of my blue? When I push it all the way to one side, then it ends up looking like the pieces are falling together, and that's exactly what's happening. It's falling apart. So that's a common mistake. Instead, make sure that you are weaving in an opposite pattern. Remember, A, B, over, under, over, under. Now, I know that some of us are going to get it like this is no big deal, and some of us might need a little more time to kind of figure it out. That is okay. As long as you are weaving over, under, I promise you, you will totally get this, and at the end, you will have a fantastic, beautiful paper weaving. Okay, I'm going to jump into lightning mode and finish up my paper weaving at super fast speed. I always use all of my fingers to weave my paper strips up and down, over, under. So that way I make sure that I don't skip any spot on my loom. I want to make sure that I fill it in all the way and continue the pattern. I always push my strips as far as they can go to the next one to make sure I fill it all the way up. And that last one might be a little bit tricky, so you might have to use all those fingers to make that one happen.